these teams.
Yes.
I mean, deep and dangerous. And could their matchup tonight possibly live up to Game 1? Victor Wembanyama putting up 41 points, hauling down 24 rebounds, double overtime win for the Spurs. He just owned clutch time. And MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only had 2 points across both overtimes as SGA shot 7 of 23 in Game 1. Thunder lose home court. Former Thunder player Kendrick Perkins is back, along with NBA reporter Tim McMahon, who's covering the Western Conference Finals. So, howdy, Tim. For OKC, going at Wemby defensively, this is a tall task, literally. What are they saying about it?
Howdy, partners. Mark Daigneault said there are a lot of solutions, but there is a really thin margin of error. And look, they've got to move players. They've got to move their bodies. They've got to move the ball. They've got to make Victor Wembanyama move. Chet Holmgren said the answer is going to be in the movement, because if you just let Wemby plant himself near the paint, he's basically shutting down the floor from the elbows down. I mean, you're not going to be able to finish over him. Now, having said that, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 7 of 23 from the floor, didn't really get in the kind of groove that we're used to seeing from him, except for a little bit there at the end of the fourth quarter. He said there's a balance. You have to be smart and be patient as far as attacking him. He's going to block shots. But he said you also have to be aggressive. You cannot be timid. He said if you're worrying about Wemby and you let yourself become timid, that's when the Spurs really put a stranglehold on the game.
Yeah, and Wemby played, about 49 minutes in Game 1. This isn't like an NBA Finals with a lot of time in between games. This is a pretty quick turnaround. Do you see that factoring in at all tonight on either side?
No, not one bit. And look, when it comes to Wemby, I'm to the point now. I don't put anything past him. But I'm gonna tell you a problem that I do have was the answer that came out of Chet Holmgren's mouth that Tim just reported. The answer is to make Wemby move side to side. No, the answer is for you to man the hell up and go match up with him and guard him and say, I got it, coach. Now look, you may not stop him, but at the end of the day, we know that there's some real hatred there between Wemby and Chet Holmgren. He don't like you, Chet. I need you to step up to the plate. The Thunder needs you to step up to the plate. This is not about anything else. This is not about trying to have this big game plan. No, it's about mano y mano. You're in my home. You're in my crib. I'm the NBA champion. You're trying to take what's mine. I'm 7-1. I need you to go out there and handle your business, and that's what I need Chet to do. That's what I want to hear him say, and the actions I want to see him display on the floor tonight.
I love it, and I hope he's listening, because that was an amazing pep talk right there. All right, let's talk about kind of the coaching and motivating aspects of the game while I have you two, and especially Tim with your background with Dallas as well. So the Mavericks hire Masai Ujiri as president of basketball operations. Now we hear that they have parted ways with their head coach, Jason Kidd. What direction is this team taking, Tim?
Well, let me first just say, hearing Perk talk about hate warms my heart for some reason. That's a strange thing, but there was no hate. I don't know why. It just makes me smile. But there was no hate between Masai Ujiri and Jason Kidd, but the writing was on the wall as soon as Masai Ujiri was hired as team president, which is a position that Jason Kidd expressed interest in. Now, Kidd knew for months he wasn't getting it, but he also wasn't in the loop on the process that brought Masai Ujiri to Dallas. And Masai was hired by Patrick Dumont with the understanding of, hey, the coaching decision is going to be completely yours. And that's unique because Jason Kidd got a contract extension before last season after the Knicks expressed interest. He had 4 years and more than $40 million remaining on his contract, but Masai Ujiri came to the conclusion that the Mavericks needed a clean slate, as he put it, so they're moving on from Jason Kidd. It'll be a comprehensive search. His track record is to hire young, promising, up-and-coming assistant coaches. The one thing he made clear is the coach has to be a long-term fit with a long-term view to build around a 19-year-old prodigy in Cooper Flagg.
Well, look, you're right, though, Tim. The writing has been on the wall. To me, I feel like Jay Kidd, even last year, I mean, he's been there physically, but mentally he's been checked out. Ever since they traded away Luka Doncic, Jay Kidd has been wanting out of Dallas. And those rumors we were hearing about him wanting to be in New York, those rumors were true. And Jay Kidd is not at the stage of his career far as, trying to be in a rebuilding mode. I will give him credit. He done an outstanding job for us this past season of the development and the growth of Cooper Flagg, especially challenging him to be, quote-unquote, the point guard of the team. But Jay Kidd is a hell of a coach. He would definitely land another job here soon. I think it was the right decision for both parties. I would never question Masai Ujiri because he is a champion, and this Toronto Raptors team that we saw in this postseason, that was built on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He drafted those guys.
Now he's got to really build a team around Cooper Flagg. They have the ninth pick in the draft, obviously, but you wonder what other moves they might be making this offseason. Perk, Tim, thanks, fellas.
Thank you, Hannah.
The Cavaliers at the Knicks with 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the fourth. The Cavs led the Knicks 93-71. The numbers gave New York virtually no hope. Look at this. ESPN Analytics had them at 0.1% chance to win. But from that point on, the Knicks outscored the Cavs by 33 points and went on a 44-11 run. They complete a 22-point comeback for the overtime win, and they retain home court advantage. Teams in similar situations had an absolutely horrific track record entering last night. In the last 30 postseasons, teams down by 22-plus points at any point in the fourth quarter were 594. The Knicks changed all of that behind Jalen Brunson, who took advantage of a defensive mismatch. So on we go to show you how it happened and what adjustment Coach Mike Brown made to get back into it.
It is no secret we were attacking hard.
And attack they did. Look at Brunson with Harden guarding him in the lane and hits the floater. Brunson just willing his team back into this game, putting the moves on the 36-year-old for that tough bucket off the glass. And then Brunson, absolutely spectacular, getting the crowd on its feet. Another shot. Brunson scoring 11 straight points, and this was a dagger pulling up for three. Are you kidding? An 18-1 run for the Knicks. Harden had absolutely no answer, couldn't do anything to stop Jalen Brunson, and it's a 2-point game. Look at Brunson just blow right past him for the bucket to take it into overtime, tied at 101, and then in the overtime it was more of the same. It's Brunson getting in front of Harden for a floater here as he finishes with 38 points. Brunson 7 for 11 with Harden guarding him as the Knicks go on to win 115-104 in overtime. Absolutely incredible as Harden allowed the Knicks to shoot 9 for 15 as a primary defender in the fourth quarter in overtime per ESPN tracking. The Knicks went 7 for 13 against all other Cavs defenders. NBA analyst here to talk about his former teammate, Kendrick Perkins. On the offensive end, he went 5 for 16. He was 1 of 8 from three-point range. Listen, the Cavs traded for Harden. What did they get last night?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zero. And here we are again. Different series, same story. Once again, James Harden had more turnovers than he did made field goals, and he was a liability defensively. And I just don't understand why Kenny Atkinson doesn't make a sub. I heard his interview after the game, and he talked about Harden being his best defender, has been their best perimeter defender. Well, if Harden your best perimeter defender, then you're definitely not trying to win a championship. And the fact that Mike Brown came out publicly and said it's no secret we're attacking Harden, that is a problem in itself. But my thing is, Hannah, throughout the course of that run, when they was having that meltdown, I saw no leadership whatsoever, from nobody on the floor to nobody on the sideline, including Kenny Atkinson. It's bad enough that he took his timeouts home with him to have some steak, green beans, and a side of timeouts. Damn it, he had one of them for breakfast this morning. At the end of the day, you got to show, especially on the road, some type of level of leadership when the team is making a run at home. And I didn't see that on the sideline, and I didn't see it from anybody on the floor.
You didn't see it from Spider Mitchell either. I mean, in the last 10 minutes, Harden and Mitchell combine for 3 points. There's a complete lack of adjustments, as you said, from Kenny Atkinson. Ideally, they're going to make an adjustment going into game 2. What do they need to do?
Well, they got to remember that Donovan Mitchell is their number one option offensively. It was too many times in that fourth quarter that Donovan Mitchell was standing in the corner doing nothing. The man was playing his behind off. He actually was having a damn good game offensively. And so I'm looking at it and I'm saying, so we're just going to continue to watch James Harden dribble the oxygen out of the basketball? You're not going to utilize Donovan Mitchell and trust because he showed even in the game 7 that he has the capability of not only going get his, but making guys around him better? You're not going to even try to run a high pick and roll with Evan Mobley to force a switch and now get him in the low post area where he's actually able to go to work? Kenny Atkinson, I could have done what he did last night on the sideline. Absolutely nothing.
Which was nothing. Yeah, it was just crazy. It was like the whole team was just sitting back and watching, letting the Garden go crazy and letting the Knicks run all over them. And Atkinson said afterwards, we got a little unlucky. Well, you make your luck, don't you, Right? All right. Oh, we'll see you back in a bit.